Hello y'all, this is the Hearts of Iron 4 mod 1000 Week Reich. It's set in 1952 in a world where Germany won World War II. Heading to the select country screen. Now as we click forward, we have a few featured nations here, and they are the United States of America, the United Kingdom, the Republic of China, the Kingdom of Italy, the Greater German Reich, the Perm Soviet government, the Russian Republic, the Buryat Military Okrug. I think Okrug is like a Russian word for county. Continuing, we have the Kazan Military Okrug, the Netsk Governorate, the Krasnoyarsk Soviet government, and the Soviet Republic of Novosibirsk. TWR, I believe, got its start as a series of maps made by AP246/Proxy Marrow, and what it attempts to do is bring a sense of gritty, grounded realism to the age-old alternate history trope of an Axis victory in World War II, and just some keynotes in the lore. For one, Japan did not win World War II. They got occupied by the USA and the Allies, and I believe, well, mainly the USA, I suppose, and I think the USA had to launch some kind of mainland invasion of Japan in 1000 Week Reich. I could be wrong. It's something like Operation Olympic or something. Also, moving on from that, we have China, and the nationalist won there. India's a mess. The Soviet Union fell apart in the face of the Axis, well, the German advance, I guess. And speaking of the Germans, they're led by Adolf Hitler in 1952, but he will die when you play through this mod. I want to say sometime near the end of 1952, 1953, or 1954. Point being, there will be a successor to him when you play this mod for a long enough period of time. He will die. That's just part of the story. I don't think there's any way to stop that from happening. And looking at the Kingdom of Italy, we have Italian Libya. They have all of Italian East Africa, and that is Somaliland. Well, it's Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. Essentially, they control the Horn of Africa. The French state exists. They're not really part of the Axis. It's like, I guess it's Vichy France, more or less, but they don't have all of French West Africa. Part of it's controlled by the French authority. Then we have Franco is Spain, and they took over Morocco. And we have the UK. The UK survived World War II, but they're in a much weaker state. They still have some of their territories, though, like in Africa, at least in 1952, which is a big deal. So they're not entirely they didn't lose everything. They kind of lost India, though. India is definitely, the British Raj is gone. They still have Australia and Malaya. And I think that's all the major big lore for all the great powers. So Germany's on top, Italy kind of also is, and Japan's gotten occupied. The Soviet Union fell apart. France did not have a fun time because it's World War II. And the UK still kind of exists. And the USA, the USA leads a faction called the Toronto Accord, which I will get back to. But going to the political tab now, we have a number of ideologies in 1000 Week Reich, and they are National Socialist, Fascist, Paternal Autocrat, Conservative, Liberal, Social Democrat, Socialist, Revolutionary Communist, at least I think it is the REV dot, so maybe it is Revolutionary Communist, and Marxist Leninist. And so we have a cabinet system here. Instead of political advisors, we have spots for the head of government. There's the foreign minister, the minister of security, and the minister of the economy. And for laws in government, that's generally the same, but there is some new laws. And one of them is for government type, and the other is for industrialization and economic development level. Then we have research and production, which seems about normal, but they're all called contractors. Yes, okay. Military staff, there's Chief of Staff, Chief of Army, Chief of Navy, and Chief of the Air Force. No theorist in TWR. And let's go to the decision tree. Well, decisions now. We have propaganda efforts, political actions, there's prospect for resources, there's weapons development, there's nuclear strikes on Germany. Nukes can happen, but there's a lot of prerequisites. in Thousand Week Reich for those to be launched, I guess. It looks like that. There's the Federal Reserve mechanic that's exclusive to the USA, no doubt, I bet. There's occupation decisions, and we have covert operations in Latin America. It is the Cold War in a sense, but no USSR, I guess Nazi Germany replaces it, and so the CIA will do some things in Latin America as the USA, so that's something going on in this timeline, much like in our own in a sense. And now let's go to our tech tree. We have something relating for nuclear research. Yes, that's a very big, very interesting setup there. We have this big reworked tree. There's basic equipment, anti-tank, there's mobilized, well there's, yeah, mobilized, well, motorized, what am I saying, motorized. We have the special forces going to support companies that are all about the same. Yep, we have helicopters in this model, they do exist. There's APCs, infantry fighting vehicles, main battle tanks, and those are all here. And the tech goes up to about, say, 1990, wow, that's a long time. Artillery, you have stuff like the Sky Sweeper, you can get for anti-air, there's anti-air, anti-tank, and artillery, well there's at least stuff for artillery. And then we have naval, that's their helicopters here. You can get helicopters in Thousand Week Reich as a technology. We have light aircraft, yes, light aircraft, and then heavy aircraft. Then there is, well, the bombers and strategic bombers and tactical bombers and transports are in heavy aircraft. Then light aircraft is all your fighters and interceptors and close air support. Then we have engineering, which is kind of mostly the same. And there's no nuclear or rocketry technology here since they kind of got their own little section. We have industry, and it looks pretty nice. That's very good. And we have nuclear and advanced weapons. So there's missile technology, nuclear bombs, there's chemical weapons, and biological weapons. So a whole array of just advanced weapons here to use for any country. If you want to research all that stuff, we have a UN screen. Let me open that now. And yeah, we have the United Nations. And then we have some faction screen for the Germans, or well, not really, just it says they're a member of a faction. And speaking of factions, this is a perfect time to transition to the factions of the world, and there are only two when you start out in 1952, I believe, and they are the Toronto Accord and Nalonong, which is, oh, there's three, actually, maybe. So there's the Toronto Accord and Nalonong, and that's New Order when translated to English from German, I believe. I think so. There's the Mediterranean Pact, and let's go over the Toronto Accord first. That is the American faction, basically, and that consists of them, the USA, the United Kingdom, the Kingdom of Belgium, the Confederated Kingdom of the Netherlands and Indonesia, Canada, the Republic of Iceland, the Commonwealth of Australia, New Zealand, the French Authority, occupied Japan, the Federation of Malaya, and Sarawak. And then we have the Nordung, or actually no, we'll go to the Mediterranean Pact. Well, yeah, the Mediterranean Pact first, and that is the Kingdom of Italy, the Hellenic State, Greece, the Kingdom of Albania, and Italian East Africa. So it's essentially, in 1952, it's the Italians and their puppet states. Then we have the New Order, and that is the Greater German Reich, Reichskommissariat Ostland, Reichskommissariat Ukraine, Reichskommissariat Caucasus, Reichskommissariat Moskowen, or Moscow, Reichskommissariat, I guess, SS Ordnungsstaat Gothenland, that's in, say, Crimea. Then we have SS Ordnungsstaat Banat, the Danish state, the Union State of Norway, and the Slovak Republic. And I believe that's also kind of a similar situation for Italy, in that the whole faction is one big country and all of its puppets. So with those factions looked at, let's go over all of the countries in the world. We'll begin in South America, and there's tons of republics here, so I'm just going to go over their full names. We have the Republic of Venezuela, the Republic of Colombia, the Republic of Ecuador, the Republic of Peru, the Republic of Brazil. We have this European territory here, and as controlled by the Confederational Kingdom of the Netherlands and Indonesia. And it looks like the British took over French South America. There's the Bolivian Republic. Once more, there's the Republic of Brazil, the state of Paraguay. We have the Republic of Chile, the Argentine Republic, And here is the Oriental Republic of Uruguay, and that is all of the South American states and countries. Now we have Africa. There's the Kingdom of Morocco. They're a puppet of the Spanish state in North Africa. We have the Spanish state itself, and they have their territory there in West Africa. There's the French state that control Algeria. Here's Italy and Libya. There's the Kingdom of Egypt. The UK controls, like, say, Sudan and Kenya and Uganda and a bunch of other places in Central Africa. There's Italian East Africa and Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Djibouti. We have the Kingdom of Belgium. They're effectively kind of in exile. Yeah, so they are in the Congo, and they're fighting a war when you start out with the Free Central African States, and they're a subject of the British, it looks like. And we have the French Authority. They're also a subject of the British, and they control portions of West Africa. We have the Republic of Liberia. There's Portuguese West Africa. Then we have Portuguese Angola and Mozambique. There's the Union of South Africa. Here's British Madagascar. I guess the British took it over since the French kind of became the French state and the French Authority. I mean, their whole colonial empire collapsed. And going over to Oceania now, we have the Commonwealth of Australia, New Zealand, and they're part of the Toronto Accord, but they're not subjects of the British. They are independent, effectively. And there's the Confederational Kingdom of the Netherlands and Indonesia in the spot that would usually be, well, the Dutch East Indies would usually be here, but I guess the Confederational Kingdom of the Netherlands and Indonesia exist because they've basically been exiled. The Germans took over the Netherlands in the 1,000-week Reich timeline because it's an Axis victory world. We have Sarawak in Oceania. Here is the Federation of Malaya. Then we have the Federation of Malaya is a subject of the British. We have the Republic of the Philippines. They're guaranteed their independence by the USA. Then we had the Kingdom of Thailand in Southeast Asia. There's also the Kingdom of Cambodia, the Lao People's Democratic Republic, and the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. I guess due to the collapse of the French Empire, or the French colonial empire to be more accurate, their colonies overseas in Asia especially, there's no war in Indochina for the French to try and hold on to their territories in Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos. So moving up north now, we have the Republic of China, and that is controlled by the nationalists led by Chiang Kai-shek. We have the Republic of Korea. They're guaranteed their independence by the Americans. Here's occupied Japan. They're a sponsored regime of the USA. There's the Mongolian People's Republic. And going more into Siberia, we have the Buryat Military Okrug, and they're a subject of the Russian Republic, who's on the western part of Russia, like the most. Yeah, they're in Siberia. They're stuck in Siberia, and they have some kind of deal going on with the USA. Then we have the Donetsk Governorate. They're democratic socialists. We have the Krasnoyarsk Soviet government. There's the Soviet Republic of Novosibirsk. Then we have the Perm Soviet government, and then getting more into Central Asia, we have the Kazakh Military Okrug. They have some deal going on with the Perm Soviet government. Then there's Turkestan. There's the Commissariat of Uzbekistan, the independent state of Turkmenistan. Then we have the Tajik national state, and they are a puppet of Turkestan. And then we're getting more into the Indian subcontinent. Here we have Jammu and Kashmir. They're an independent state. There's Tibet and Himalayas. We have the Kingdom of Nepal. There's the Kingdom of Bhutan. There's the Kingdom of Sikkim. There is the Socialist Republic of Bengal, and they're fighting a war with the Republic of India in 1952. The Republic of India is also fighting this state here, which is led by V.D. Savarkar. I think he's a Hindu nationalist. I could be wrong, though. There's that whole political ideology and movement of Hindu Vata, Hindu TVA, that's how you spell it, like Hindu, then the letters TVA. And there's the Union of Burma, they're independent. Then getting around more in the Indian subcontinent, we have the princely state of Hyderabad. There's the Kingdom of Mysore. The British control Sri Lanka, or Ceylon, it looks like. Yes. And so this Hindu nationalist movement, or country at the very least, controls a large portion of southern India, and the Republic of India controls a lot of the northern part, and it has Delhi. Then we have the Republic of Pakistan, and going more into the Middle East, there is the Kingdom of Afghanistan, the Imperial State of Iran, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, there is the Mutalakite Kingdom of Yemen in the Arabian Peninsula, we have British Arabia here, the Sultanate of Oman, well, with the British territory, the UK's territory in Arabia, like the Trucial states, there's the Sultanate of Oman, we have the Hashemite Kingdom of Iraq, there's the Syrian National State, and there is also the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, we have Palestine, and there is the Confederal Districts, and they have both Palestine and Israel as their subjects, I think, or just member state of the state of Israel is a member state of the Confederal Districts, some kind of subject relationship there. We have the Republic of Turkey, Cyprus is controlled by the British, and there is in the Caucasus the state of Armenia, the state of Georgia, and getting more through the Caucasus now as we enter into Europe, into Nazi territory, really. That's effectively what it is. We have the Reichskommissariat Caucasus, there is the Kazan military district here. We already went over the Perm Soviet government, I think, and the Kazan military district, where the military okrug has some kind of, Kazan military okrug has some kind of deal going on with the Perm Soviet government. Going more to the northwest, though, we have the Reichskommissariat Moscowan and the Reichskommissariat Ukraine, and we have the SS Ordnungsstaat Gotland in Crimea and part of southern Ukraine. Then in the Nordic area, we have the Republic of Finland, and for some reason it looks like the Greater German Reich effectively controls St. Petersburg or Leningrad, whatever you want to call it, and they call it Adolfsburg. There is the Reichskommissariat Ostland, and here we have the Kingdom of Sweden, they're independent. We have the Union State of Norway, they're a puppet of the Germans. The Danish state is a puppet of the Germans. Then, so past the Reichskommissariat in Ostland and the Reichskommissariat of Ukraine, we have the Greater German Reich. There is the Slovak Republic, the Kingdom of Hungary, the Kingdom of Romania. There is SS Ordnungsstaat Banat, they're a subject of the Germans. There's the Government of National Salvation in Serbia, and there's the Tsardom of Bulgaria, getting more into the Balkans. We have the Hellenic State, they're a member of the Mediterranean Pact, and they're a subject of the Italians, and so is the Kingdom of Albania. They're both puppets of the Italians, really, and the Mussolini controls Montenegro effectively. It's controlled by Italy. We have the independent state of Croatia, and here is the Kingdom of Italy. And then we have the French state, who has some demilitarized territory in Champagne, and they lost Calais, I think, maybe, possibly. They've lost a good bit of territory in their what once was their eastern borders. Well, their borders with Germany, really. And they're just kind of existing now. There's the Spanish state, here's the Portuguese Republic, and they have some kind of non-aggression pact deal. The Portuguese and the Spanish do, then away from them. There is, out of mainland Europe now, we have the United Kingdom, and then there is, next to them, the just independent Ireland. We have the Republic of Iceland, they're a member of the Toronto Accord. We have American Greenland. Then we have Canada, as we get more into North America now. Well, we are in North America at this point. We have the United Mexican States. And in Central America, we have all the classic countries of Central America. There is the Republic of Guatemala, the Republic of Honduras, the Republic of El Salvador, the Republic of Nicaragua, the Republic of Costa Rica, and the Republic of Panama. Then in the Caribbean, we had the Republic of Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and the Republic of Haiti. And then lastly, there is the USA, who controls all their territory, as they did in our timeline's 1952, I believe, except they took over Greenland. And that's just very interesting. And they have some kind of deal going on with the Russian Republic in eastern Russia, like the far eastern part of Russia. And I should probably mention that the USA is led by Harry Truman when you start the mod in 1952. And with that, this has been 1000 Week Reich. You can check it out in the video description. The link to it is there. What do you think of it? Tell me in the comment section below. And after you do that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications.